Good, 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 good. Should I introduce myself again, or you guys know my name? What's my name? Boateng, yeah. My name is Franklin Boateng. I'm a social media consultant. I did teach you guys earlier. I just want to say, where's Elizabeth? Come to the front, Elizabeth. No, come to the front. Come to the front. She doesn't know I'm going to do this, actually. Come to the front. I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you to Elizabeth. I want you guys, come. I haven't known Elizabeth for that long, yeah? And my office is at the back. And I see her working hard every day downstairs. So I just want you guys to really appreciate, you guys are very privileged to have us up here. Do you get what I mean? So please, can you just give her a round of applause? Please, please. Thank you. Thanks very much. I also want to say, I didn't know you were from Tottenham. Really? This guy was a legend. No, he still is a legend, man. Big producer. Big up. Okay, so I think you guys know from this workshop, you know what I was talking about, social media. And we are going to have a Q&A afterwards. And in the break, you guys can ask me some questions. So, to be honest, I didn't know what I was going to say. But I'm going to give you a short story about social media and the power of social media. When was the riots? The Tottenham riots, 2011. I think it's August 6, 2011. There was the Tottenham riots. Unfortunately, a young man got killed by the police, and that led to a peaceful protest, which led to rioting. I don't know if you guys heard about it. Did anyone hear about the Tottenham riots? The British, was it the UK riots? They said, and at the time, what happened was I was at my parents' house. They lived just down the road, and when they set a car alight in front of Tottenham police station, and what happened was I had people who were in the peaceful protest, and they were texting me because I had a social media following. On Twitter, it's Fabs Network. I did show you guys earlier, and they were saying, Franklin, Fab, you have to do something about this. At the time, what was happening is the BBC was talking about things like tweeting stuff and putting information on TV that was false about what was happening, and there was this vandalism, that's happening. And I want to kind of tell you about the power of social media. That's why, I don't know, earlier when I was talking about how you can connect with people and how you can engage, sometimes you have to understand that when we use social media, we are a lot more powerful than we give ourselves credit for. So when I got the message that these things were happening in front of Tottenham police station, which is just down the road, I looked on the news and the reports were false, and then I took to Twitter. And remember what I was telling you guys about being a twogger, which is a Twitter blogger. What I then done is, can you guys hear me at the back? Yeah, cool. What I then done is I started tweeting. I had people that were out during the rioting, and they were phoning me up and they were telling me what the police was not doing. Because what was happening on BBC and other media outlets is that they were kind of saying it like it was all the people who was out there's fault, and this was going on and that was going on. So I took to Twitter, and then I started to report what was really happening on the ground. And I was basically saying, like, this is what's actually happening, this is what the police are doing, and this is what the police are not doing, you know. I know I'm not speaking out bad against the police. I know the police have a job to do and something like that, so I don't want you guys to think I'm speaking, but I just wanted to make sure I was reporting the information correctly. So I took to Twitter, and I started tweeting and tweeting and tweeting and tweeting. And then another person on Twitter said, Franklin or Fabs Network, have you seen the news? This was about, I would say about 8 in the evening, and the 9 o'clock, the news was coming on and everything. And they said, turn it to like the BBC. They're starting to report what you're saying. So I was like, how can they find? I'm just tweeting. Yeah, it was crazy. And then I think the 10 o'clock news, their report was not, I wouldn't say word for word, but based on the current information that they were tweeting out, and they were kind of getting out. They were actually talking about the information was more accurate based on what I was saying on Twitter. They didn't credit me, but what happened is the next day, they didn't credit me. No, they didn't credit me. I should sue them, shouldn't I? But the next day, the reporters from BBC contacted me via social media, via Twitter, and they came down here, and I showed one of the reporters. I mean, they filmed me for 4 hours, but they only used like about a minute of the footage, so, you know. But what happened, yeah, I know. What happened was I managed to get my point across and kind of show them the power of social media and how it can transcend to actually make things right. Does that make sense? To actually make things right. So after that, they came down, they kind of apologized for the way they reported the news and its inaccuracies. There was still a lot of inaccuracies after that fact, but I felt that the connection I made with the report and what the report went out, it showed how powerful social media can be. And that's what I was telling you earlier, is that when you're on a platform, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or any of these social medias, make sure you understand your power and the power that you're engaging. Because what I was doing on Twitter, I was actually tweeting young people not to go outside. You know, I was tweeting young people not to go outside. I was tweeting them to stay at home and just not go outside and be caught up in the madness. Because, I mean, a lot of people were saying the riots were for the young man who died, but it was just foolishness. It was basically people robbing shops. You know, I don't believe in, if you want to riot, you don't riot in where you put your head at. You know, you go to the establishments and you know, I'm not saying rioting is the right thing to do, but you go in the right places, in the right establishments, and then you get your point across. So I wasn't saying, you know, but all I'm saying is basically through the power of social media, I managed to change the news. And that's what, I mean, I think earlier, the young man over there, he's sitting, he asked me, how do people see me? And sometimes on social media. And sometimes it's not about how do people see you, it's about what you're putting out. And if what you're putting out is powerful enough, people will see you. So you don't have to worry about it. As long as your content is good and you're putting it out regularly and it's true to yourself and you're not making up any false accusations and lies or cussing people or nothing like that, it will make a point and get out there. Yeah? So I'm just going to leave you with that. We're going to go into a Q&A so you guys can ask me some questions later on. Yeah? Thank you guys for listening.